them having a bunch of enemies. Hi everyone, Fina here from Fina Reads. Welcome and welcome back to my channel. Today I want to talk with you about the 2025 releases that I'm really excited about, and I'm focusing on the first half of 2025 right now. I separated this video into standalones, first in a series continuations, just to group them a little bit. And it's across all genres. Well, I mean, its focus is fantasy and sci-fi, but I have a couple of thrillers in here that I kind of am excited about as well, and that I may or may not have already ordered. Let's start with the standalones that I'm excited about. First off, A Far Better Thing by H.G. Perry, which is an author that I've read before, specifically the Shadow Histories duology, and I loved it. It's one of my all-time favorite fantasy duology series books in general. I'm especially excited about this one because this, similar to the Shadow Histories duology, is also set in the French Revolution timeline. And what I loved about the Shadow Histories is that it is very closely aligned to the actual happenings of the French Revolution and the Napoleonic Wars, but with magical elements as part of the story. Very slow burn, very dialogue, political intrigue heavy, and just a very unique fantasy story. And I'm hoping A Far Better Thing is kind of in a similar vein. The story is obviously different though. This one is about a child that was kidnapped by fairies and was raised by the fairies in the fairy realm, but treated as a servant. And now as a grown-up, they want revenge. So that's all I want to know really about this book. I want to go in blind. As you know, I love to go into books without knowing a whole lot of it. But yeah, I just know that it is set in the same timeline as the French Revolution. It's between London and Paris, so I'm really hoping to see some great scenery from that medieval time that I generally really love. Next up is Secret Project number 5 by Brandon Sanderson. I don't know anything about this book at all. I just hope it is not like Sunlit Man, which was Secret Project number 4, that you should only read after you've read a bunch of other Cosmere books. I hope it's more like Secret Project 1 till 3 that you could read as standalones, even if you have never read anything by the Cosmere, because that's the case for me. But I like them. I really enjoyed them. I thought they were fun, quirky stories. I love different things about each and every one of the first 3 books that I've already read. Again, I haven't read Sunlit Men yet, so I'm hoping that Secret Project number 5 is kind of in the same vein. The next 2 are thrillers, starting with Beautiful Ugly by Alice Feeney. This is the book I already pre-ordered via Book of the Month. This is about a wife who got lost and the husband keeps searching for her, and 20 years later on a random island he sees her again, and then things happen. And it seems to be a lot about secrets between the two and why she disappeared. And I love those type of twisty, secretive thrillers that slowly reveal what's going on, and I'm having high hopes for this one. The other one is You Deserve to Know by Aggie Bloom Thompson, which is more a small area thriller. Why can't I think of the word? Limited setting thriller. I don't know. It's about a bunch of moms that all live in the cul-de-sac, and they're theoretically all friends, and they get together for the weirdest things till something happens, and then slowly you uncover what's actually going on with each individual mom. Sounds right up my alley. I'm excited about that one. Let's skip to number 1s in a series. I will see if I will actually read those in 2025 or if I will wait till the other books in the series are out as well, because usually I don't like to wait. I'm an impatient person. Come on, I'm old. I don't have much time in my life left anymore. I don't usually like to wait a year or longer for a book 2 or 3 or 4. But if there are things happening and I feel like, okay, I really want to read it, I might actually pick them up in 2025 already. So we'll see. The first one is The Outcast Mage by Annabelle Campbell, which is a debut, if I understand that correctly, magical academy setting about a student there that has troubles accessing their magical abilities, stuff going on with them having a bunch of enemies around them, and they have to prove themselves, that kind of stuff. I usually like that type of fantasy trope, but what really sold me on this one is the blurb by Trudy Canavan, which is one of my all-time favorite fantasy authors. Why hasn't she written anything anymore? I need to look. Her last release was quite a while ago, right? Anyway, this is not about Trudy Canavan. This is about The Outcast Mage. Also, I love that cover. The colors on it are gorgeous. So that's why I'm really excited about this one. The other book number 1 is Angie Kills the King, or Angie, not quite sure, by Evan Lycam. This, I think, also is a debut novel. This is about a servant who hates the king and takes a chance where she can kill the king to do so and then runs away for her life. Unlikely alliances is one of the things that is going on. The magical abilities sound really interesting, something with masks that give you superhuman powers. And yeah, it just sounded like an interesting setting. And again, this cover is really cool and is what actually caught my eye. So I'm curious to see how that book turns out. From number 1 in a series to series continuations that I'm incredibly excited about. I've read books in these series, and contrary to what I said earlier,
I don't usually like to wait a year or longer for a book 2 or 3 or 4.
Well, I've read these books already, and I've been waiting for the continuation for a random amount of time, depending on the series. Starting with Onyx Storm by Rebecca Yarros. Yes, I read Fourth Wing and whatever Iron Flame or whatever the second book is called. I love it. It's cheesy, it's a fun read, it's a fast read, it's very entertaining, and I want to know how it continues. Next up is a new novella in the Gunmetal God universe. I know nothing about it. I don't know the name. I'm not even sure if it's still 2024 this novella comes out, or if it is early 2025. I think I saw something with late 2024, but I haven't heard anything since then. And since it is December already, I don't know if Zamil Akhtar is going to release it still this year. That's why I'm counting it into 2025 releases. I also don't know if it is going to be another prequel novella or something between book 4 and 5, or if it's something completely outside of the main series and something that you can read at any given time. I have no idea. I just know I will read it because I love this series. As you know, it's one of my favorite series of all time, so of course I will read that novella. Next up is slightly different to everything that I've done before, and it's a genre that I usually don't read much in, and that is Finlay Donovan series, which is more like a quirky, funny mystery type of series, and that's not usually something that I go for. I tend to like darker things and grittier things, and I don't know, something is wrong with me. But I love Finlay Donovan, and I loved the first 4 books, in particular book 4, which tied the first 3 books together in such an elegant way that I didn't think is even possible, because that series is ridiculous. What is happening to Finlay Donovan is just so far out of reality that, you know, I gave it like between 3 and 4 stars usually, just because it is so overly ridiculous, and how things are solved is way too by chance type of stuff. But book 4 really sold the series for me and made it work, like how things are together. Don't get me wrong, it's still ridiculous. It's still over the top, not realistic, but it was really well done. So I'm excited to see how she continues with that series. And it's one of those where, you know, a new book comes out every year. And yeah, book 5 comes out in 2025. So of course I'm going to read it. Another one that I'm excited about, because that actually finishes out the series, is Heartstopper. That is a YA graphic novel. It's such a wholesome story. I love the graphic novel. I've devoured all 5 of them so far, and I'm excited to finish out the series and close a chapter, as they say, with that last graphic novel. And I'm definitely going to get it. Another fantasy series that is continuing in 2025 that I just heard about literally a day before I started doing the video. I had everything prepped already. I had all the books looked up for me already, but I added this one last minute, and that is the second book in the Dark Town series by Palma Pickering. This is the Swamp Level 2 of the Dragon Scroll. This is a lit RPG, indie published. The first book was a lot of fun. It's a little bit slower paced and a little bit more meticulous as other lit RPGs that I've read. Not that I've read a lot. I mean, I've read 2 other lit RPG books before this one, so I'm not an expert by any means. But I love the characters. I love that they are red terriers as side characters in the book. I mean, really like side characters. They mentioned maybe once or twice. But I have a red terrier. How can I not love a book that has red terrier representation? It's not a breed that you find in books typically. So I'm excited that was in there. And for that reason, now there are other reasons, of course, why I want to continue with that series, but I'm excited to see that. Also, look at this cover. It is awesome. And then the one series continuation, like if I had to pick just one of those that I will read in 2025. It is none of the ones that I've mentioned so far. I'm sorry, folks. It's going to be this one. It is Green Rider. The 8th book is coming out in 2025. That's all we know. Like, literally, this is all we know about book 8. Green Rider is my favorite fantasy series, number one, for years and years. And I will read it. I'm still contemplating if I'm going to reread the entire series till then, or just book 5 and onward. I have to make a decision soon because I probably need to start in January, February if I want to read one book a month till the release date of book 8. Yeah, that thing is going to be read on the day of the release. If I can't get my hands on a copy earlier somehow, I will get that thing and I will read it on the day through the night because I freaking need to know what is going to happen with Kerrigan. And yeah, more Green Rider love. What can I say? That rounds up the video of the books that I'm excited for that release in 2025. What are some books that you're looking forward to that are releasing in 2025? And don't mention Wind and Truth because that's releasing in 2024, so that doesn't count anymore. But what books are you excited about? Is there anything that I should add to my list for books to keep tabs on to see if I can grab a copy on release date? And then if you want to see how I'm doing with these books, don't forget to hit the subscribe button because I will definitely talk about them as I'm reading them. And in the meantime, while we're waiting for those videos, check out maybe this one. Maybe that's interesting to you. And then I hope you have an amazing rest of your day and that I'll see you soon with another video. Bye!